few salient points of his writings, his mind, we can say, his was a path of harmony. You can see in his writings, harmony always. He tries to go to the core of it, tries to reconcile, however, which looks so discordant, so different. He tries to go to the root of it and see something common. Wherever possible, he always does it. Where many people find it is impossible to harmonize, he does it. So, any spiritual sadhana, any spiritual idea which is real, which is based upon life, has a place in his sadhana, in his scheme of teaching, in his scheme of sadhana, in his philosophy, it finds a place. Anything that is valuable is never rejected by Shankara. Anything that is valuable. So you can see in some people, though it is valuable, it doesn't find place in their philosophy, in their scheme of sadhana. They reject it though it is good. And what cannot be accommodated, cannot be accepted, what is not logical, still they accommodate, they find it to give a place in their philosophy. But here one important point is, he is a man of harmony. His teaching is full of harmony. So a few points I say. He harmonized karma and sannyasa. Generally think Shankara is a propagator, advocate of sannyasa only. He ignored, neglected karma, discouraged karma, condemned. Some people go to the extent of calling it condemned karma. As he debunked karma totally, condemned it as a should not be done it, as if it is a crime to do karma. People go to very extreme things. But if you see in his writings, he so respectfully, lovingly talks of karma, the place of karma in one's life. He understood, he analyzed, observed the very nature of karma, the nature of human being, at what stage of life one needs to do karma, and how it affects you, how it transforms you, both spiritually and also in worldly sense also, and up to what extent it can help you. And there is another area where karma cannot help you, because karma has certain purpose, it has got certain effect. Wherever it is useful, wherever it affects a person, transforms a person, there definitely Shankara never rejected. In fact, he recommended it, he advocated it, he insisted that it must be followed. But there is a certain another stage where we have to observe, learn and understand. At that stage, then karma is not useful. There your observation, understanding, your creative mind, your investigative mind is required to just to discover the fact as a fact. So there he told it is a sannyasa. So karma also has a place, sannyasa has a place. Everything has its own effect, its own result, its own effect spiritually. So Shankara understood their place and advised the students to use them properly according to its need. So you can't say Shankara rejected and exclusively advocated sannyasa and rejected karma. So, and some people also, there are extreme people, they say Shankara was a too ritualistic man and sannyasa is only just a superficial. This is also, I feel it is a one-sided thought and prejudice. So he harmonized active life and renunciation. So we touch this point very briefly and leave it here, because this needs a separate discussion about the place of karma and sannyasa. We'll discuss in a separate topic. Here we discuss just briefly only few points. Another thing is about Saguna Nirguna. Does God have qualities, or is he beyond all qualities and a pure consciousness only? So here he talked of both Saguna and Nirguna, and he harmonized it. Harmonized in the sense, two things. The same Brahman looked in a perspective becomes a Saguna. The same truth looked as it is. The absolute looked as absolute. Not from a given standpoint, not from any given perspective. Seen as it is Nirguna. Means free from any distinctions. You cannot call it this and that and this way and that way. No particular description can describe it. It just is. It is what it is, that's all you can say. But any particular distinction, particular quality, particular nature can be seen from a particular standpoint, in a given perspective. So it is natural that when you look at it from a perspective, it looks in a particular way. You take another standpoint, it looks in another way. But when you drop all standpoints and see it as it is, now no distinctions at all. So he told the same truth is understood in two different ways. He didn't say there are no two gods, nor he said that one God is against another God. There are only two ways of looking. Two ways of looking. So when you look at from one angle is one, another is see it as it is. One is you look from a particular perspective, another is drop all standpoints, all perspectives, just to stay as it is. So that's what he called absolute and nirguna. And the harmonizing between these two is, one needs to do sadhana of Saguna also at certain stage. And this sadhana of Saguna, trying to meditate, prayers, meditations, worships, wholehearted meditations, all these things are required to transform a mind, prepare the mind, make it highly mature, and a certain stage comes where mind is ready to know the fact just as it is. Because it is very difficult for the mind to see the fact as it is, because prejudices are very common, emotional immaturity, likes and dislikes, interference of ego, attachment, these things are common. So one has to become highly pure and mature and evolved person to be able to see the fact as it is. Therefore he told, same truth, before you understand as it is, try to understand it in a given perspective. With a good heart, with a positive heart. Saguna Brahma means with a positive mind. With a simple, open, positive mind, you try to understand it. Then a stage comes neither positive nor negative. Just to drop both and see it as it is. That is nirguna. Therefore, he harmonized both Saguna and Nirguna. In all his teachings, you find these two side by side, never neglecting one and overemphasizing the other. You can see him, each one has its own place. He never put Saguna as Nirguna as one against the other. Each one has its own value, and according to that value, it has to be used, it has to be followed. Third is, he talked about Varnasrama dharma and also how to transcend it. See, this is also harmonizing it, because every society has some divisions, some organized, and in his days it was a much more organized, and even now you find them. Any traditional societies has certain rules and discipline, certain values, because it gives you certain way of life. So that way of life is more in a roughly organized, at least you find now. So that whatever lifestyle, certain ritual, certain activity is given by both a society as well as a religious life. That you can use it for spiritual life also. The same your profession, your discipline, your values of life, which are necessary for worldly life as well as a religious life. So those prayers and rituals can be used in a spiritual way also. And a time comes where you transcend all these things again. To transform your personality, you use them. But there is a stage where you transcend all these things. And again, if a person due to some reason could not follow some varna and ashrama, still spiritual life is not denied for him, because there are certain basic spiritual values and prayers, those one can follow and can attain the spirituality. So that way you can see, he did not insist on that varnashrama dharma. Wherever it is useful, wherever it is positive, constructive, you can use them. If due to some reason, if a person could not follow there, still you can follow certain basic spiritual values, prayers, and service to others, upavasa, japa, upavasa, paropakaradaya, he says. Japa, upavasa, paropakaradaya. See, service to others and japa, simple prayers, these are most important. And values, spiritual values, of course. Speaking truth, being humble, accommodating, forgiveness, adjusting, understanding, not hating others. So all these are spiritual values are necessary without any discrimination of any varna and ashrama. These are common values anybody can follow. So that way we can see wherever the varnashrama is necessitated, you use them for spiritual value. Where it is not possible also, you can follow spiritual life and attain the spirituality, spiritual goal. So here you can see them, varna and also transcending the varna, both he harmonized. And one more thing is, God, that there is God it can be accepted easily. But how is he? This is where the difference comes. In fact, there are two things. One is an atheist and theist. A believer, the difference between atheist and theist always brings a clash. Even in the believers of God also there are clashes. You find them. Who is God? How is he? What is his nature? How are we to pray? Even in these things there are differences. So in his Advaita philosophy, that one absolute truth appears in different forms and different qualities. So the same truth can be approached as a Vishnu, as a Shiva, as Devi, as Vinayaka, as Subramanya, or in many number of ways. So therefore, the same God can be seen in different forms and different positive sattvic qualities. So here, this gives a good option for people. So, and this avoids a lot of clashes. And it is in keeping with the very truth. So this Advaita gives this freedom, and it is really useful any time in the society, either in the past, even now also. So the God is there, but how is he? You can't fixedly pinpoint. It depends upon how you look at it. And also one more thing is, your understanding of God keeps improving. There is no fixed concept of God, fixed understanding of God. So your understanding of God keeps improving as your maturity improves. As your heart improves, your maturity improves, your understanding capacity improves, you deepen and broaden your heart. Your understanding of God also keeps improving, keeps deepening and widening. So therefore, the concept or understanding of God is not fixed. It keeps on improving. And the ultimate understanding is there is no difference, and all things becomes one united truth, absolute truth. So this is one uniqueness you can see. So it is something like, I can give you a simple example. You see somebody at a distance. At a distance you see that somebody is standing there. You walk few more steps, few more yards. Then you see, oh, it is a statue, not a person standing, you recognize. You walk few more steps. Then you say, oh, it is not somebody, it is only Gandhiji. So when you come closer, you can see it is a Gandhiji statue standing there. At a distance, you saw something. As you walk few yards, the picture becomes clearer. You walk few more yards, still becomes clearer. Then you come closer, it becomes totally clear. Like this, regarding God, so you have this different understanding. So 2 points he says, there are different angle of looking, different levels of understanding. 2 things point. Regarding Ishvara, different angle. Somebody looks him as a Shiva, somebody as a Vishnu, somebody as a Vinayaka, somebody as a Subramanya, or somebody as a Devi. So this is way of looking, angle of looking. Same truth looked from different angle. Another is your levels of understanding. As your maturity level grows, your understanding of God also further improves and becomes clearer and clearer, broader and broader, which includes all other concepts of God. In the beginning you accept one concept, then as you go deeper into it, it widens and includes all other concepts. Then you become, he is a Vishwarupa, he is everything, ultimately he is absolute. So here you can see him, it's a very good harmony. Shankaracharya's approach is a very scientific, analytical approach. The Shraddha, which can be translated not accurately, but a nearly faith we may call, but Shraddha has got something deeper meaning. So the Shraddha or faith has a place. But Shraddha should make you open rather than scuttle your investigation. So this is one good point, is faith and investigation. Generally you see scientific investigators are against faith. The faithful people ignore logic and investigation. You can see the most illogical things they accept. So here there is a very good harmony in Shankara's teachings, both faith and logic. That is, reason and faith are live in very good harmony. So the reason should be such which should not reject faith. Faith also should not be illogical. Faith also should not be illogical or unreasonable. So there is a harmony between them. So this also you find. Therefore Shankara's teaching is very appealing to modern youngsters, because every point he analyzes, point by point he touches, and he appeals to our universal experiences of all human beings. So he doesn't talk about personal experiences. See, people have certain personal religious experiences. You have some divine experience of some God. Others may not have. Now you can't share, you can't discuss with others. People say it is my personal experience. Nobody can dispute about it, nor you can dismiss. But if you try to impose it on others, it becomes a problem. So there are certain personal experiences. Leaving about personal experiences, Shankara talks about universal experiences which nobody can refute, nobody can deny. So this is investigative based upon universal experiences. This is again a very, very important point in Shankara's philosophy. Coming to his last life, we discussed certain important features, characters of his philosophy. He passed away in his young age. I can say he passed away at an young age of 32. So here is a shloka about Shankara which summarizes the important events of Shankara's life. It's very popular among the Sanskrit knowing people. Ashtavarshe Chaturvedi, Dvadashe Sarvashastravit, Shodashe Krutavan Bhashyam, Dvatrimshe Munirabhyagat. This means he learnt all 4 Vedas in his Gurukula at the age of 8. And at the age of 12, he learnt Vedanta. He completed all his understanding, both Veda, Vedanta. In fact, he realized the truth. He understood the truth at the age of 12. He became complete expert. That means he became fit to become a guru to others. Then Shodashe Krutavan Bhashyam. He travelled. He discussed with people. Based upon his discussions with people, he penned his commentaries at the age of 16. And then at the age of 32, he felt that his job is over and he just left his body. There are 3 memorials of him, each at Thrissur in Kerala, Kanchi in Tamil Nadu, Kedarnath in Uttarakhand, North India, Himalayas. So these 3 memorials are known to people. All the 3 are said to be of Shankaracharya's. So one of them could be his real samadhi. A few points I would like to touch. Several pitas. Pita means spiritual centers of learning and propagation. So several pitas have evolved in his name all over India, which are very popular even now. We call them Shankara Pitas. They are the centers of learning. This is very interesting. They teach not only the full-time students, they also clarify doubts, they publish books, they teach, they guide people in spiritual paths of different levels. So these pitas represent the very broadest spiritual teachings, different of karma, upasana, meditations, different teachings, different levels you can see them. You can see the broadest Hindu dharma they represent. So they advise, they guide the spiritual seekers. So you can say all these pitas are established in his name. So the credit goes to Shankaracharya, because all these are established on his principles, on his teachings only. He is a very popular, and Shankaracharya is a popular as one of the greatest philosophers all over India and even in the world. See, this is very matter of pride for Indians, that he is the greatest philosopher, well known not only all over India but even all over the world. Some people may disagree, but nobody can dispute that he is a great philosopher. He is the most widely revered saint and philosopher even now. He is never outdated. Even now, the respect and reverence for him as a saint and philosopher exists even now. We can discuss. There are many. Two things I say. A little more deeply we can discuss his teachings. That's one topic. I think that forms a separate topic we will discuss sometime later. And another is there are many misunderstandings about him, about his personal life and also about his teachings also. So this misconceptions about Shankara, this very title itself is a very apt title. These two topics we shall discuss in our next talks. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.